guys ready?
Hi, we're Scott Energy. Allow us to introduce ourselves. I'm Andrew Clackey, and I'm the project manager for Scott Energy. I'm currently a senior at Sales University studying business management, international business, and biology.
I'm Brian Manella, CEO of Scott Energy. I'm currently a senior in sales, and I'm studying marketing and law.
I'm Sarah Bruno. I'm the HR director at Scott Energy, and currently I'm a junior at the Sales University, majoring in business management and international business with a minor in Spanish.
Hi, I'm John May. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at Scott Energy. I'm currently a sophomore at Sales University, working towards my dual bachelor's degree in marketing and finance with a Spanish minor.
I'm Rachel Zlinski, and I'm the HR director at Scott Energy. I'm currently a sophomore studying marketing and finance at the Sales University. Hi, and welcome
To our town hall meeting.
Come on in, take a seat.
Thanks for joining us today. So, what is fracking?
Stephen H. Arlettis, author of How Petroleum Works, defines it as a technique used to release petroleum, natural gas, or other substances for extraction. We at Scott Energy like to look at it as an extension on life for natural gas. Now, fracking, despite popular belief, is not actually a drilling process. It is using a 96% mixture of water and sand and a 4% mixture of chemicals. And we blast it down to the bottom of the well to break up shale and rock, to release the gases that are underneath it to extend the life of the well. Now, currently, fracking is under a lot of ethical debates because of a plethora of reasons. One of those reasons being the chemicals that are being used in the mixture. Now, we here at Scott Energy believe that the community has a right to know the chemicals that are being used inside of every fracking well. Now, how are we going to do that? We believe that we will post ads inside of your local newspapers to make sure that you, as your community, are informed as possible. And we will also have a full, extensive list of every chemical used on our website. Now, who is Scott Energy? We're a business that has been in operation for 11 years. We currently own 5 mills, and we are looking to buy a 6th one in your community. We are here today to alleviate some of the worries that you may have with the fracking process, and we are hoping that you will allow us to join your community. We are also hoping to set a new standard for fracking businesses, so that way their ethical question can no longer be a problem.
Now, there are two business approaches that we're going to discuss today. There are the moral idealistic approach and the utilitarian approach. The moral idealistic approach refers to individual rights and responsibilities that are universal regardless of the outcome, while the utilitarian approach focuses on the greater good for the greater number. Here at Scott Energy, our approach is somewhere in between. We believe that it's our duty to take action with moral, ethical business motives and to interact with our stakeholders and our society and the environment in an ethical manner. Now, regardless of the business approach, we have to discuss whether or not the ethical problem is a dilemma or an issue. An ethical dilemma means to choose among several wrong or unethical actions, while an ethical issue refers to choosing among ethical or unethical actions. Now, basically what it boils down to is wrong versus wrong or wrong versus right. And where does fracking stand as a problem? We're going to discuss our viewpoint later in this presentation. Now, business ethics is very important because it affects all levels of management and employees of the company. It also is just as important as other functional areas of business, such as the finance or marketing departments in a business. It affects all the stakeholders, and it's very important because it helps to question whether or not your business practices are appropriate for the industry. And there is actually no universal approach when it comes to business ethics. Now, the main stakeholders that we're going to address in regards to business ethics in the fracking industry are the consumers of the natural gas, as well as the local residents that are near the fracking well, the employees that are in the fracking companies, as well as those investors that invest in the companies.
So the same thing as you're making any decision in everyday life, you're going to make a pros and you're going to make a cons list. So the same thing with fracking, we're going to be able to make that pros and that cons list for you. The one big thing is, again, talking about increasing employment. We look at a local area, Towanda. It's an area in terms of that was a little down. They were able to bring fracking in there and, again, boost the economy there. President Obama says within the next decade, there'll be additional 600,000 jobs generated from fracking. So we're going to be able to lower that unemployment rate that we have here in the United States. The second point is lower the price of natural gas. Right now, natural gas in the United States, there's over 1 trillion cubic feet of natural gas that's able to be mined that we could harness through our fracking wells. So being able to generate all that can really reduce the price. 10 years ago, the price for fracking natural gas was $10 to $11 per cubic feet. Now we are down to $2 to $3 per cubic feet, compared to when you look overseas, we're in the range of $15 to $16. So again, we're really able to reduce that number here in the United States and make it a cheaper alternative energy source. And the final point is, with all this energy that we have, we're going to be able to take all the natural gas and export it overseas and no longer rely on the Middle East for oil. And looking at the other side of the spectrum, again, you have to look at both sides. So the other things we do have is that it's temporary. A fracking well only lives its life for 20 to 30 years. So we're going to be able to come into a town and generate revenue for that town as well as the United States for 20 to 30 years. The second thing, there's a lot of health concerns in terms of what's fracking cost, if there's something that goes wrong. Right now, there's nothing that's been proven in terms of what are the health concerns. There's just a lot of speculation in the fracking industry, as well as the global impact. You look here up, this is hydroelectric energy. It's a very renewable energy resource, and it's good for the environment, but the same thing. This big concrete structure is causing a little in terms of environmental impact, but we're able to get a lot of energy from that. Same thing with fracking, we have to do a little bit to affect the environment to get a lot from it. The final thing is, how is Scott Energy different? Well, I'm glad you asked. Here at Scott Energy, we have this orange die test that we're going to discuss later that we're going to change the industry and how we operate everything that we do. As well as, again, our family is going to be living with you, and we want you guys, your family, to be part of our family here with the fracking industry, as well as be informed of everything that's happening. Education and knowledge, having meetings just like this, when you're sitting here today, we can know what's happening, and you guys can give us feedback as well. There's a lot of stories behind what does fracking cost. You see YouTube videos in terms of fracking and they cause water to light a fire, and that's really not the case. If you look back from the story from 1669 in Burning Falls in New York, these group of Seneca Indians took this group of priests in the fall and were able to light the water on fire. This is, again, just mostly due to the fact where we're from. That's the fracking industry. It's been a standard just where we live in the United States. It's one of our strong suits that we have. We have this natural gas, which is a big advantage for us. And the final thing is, who are we really affecting in terms of this industry? Fracking wells generally say it's within a 3-mile radius of where the well is. One of the big things of that is here at Scott Energy, we understand it might reach beyond that 3 miles. We're going to be able to go out and affect anyone that's going to be affected by our drilling process specifically. We're going to be able to use PSAs, newspapers, and as well as the internet, of course, to be able to say what's happening and give you the proper information.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, in 2012, occupational deaths within the oil and natural gas extracting industries were 27.5 of every 100,000 workers. Now, this is over 7 times the national average for deaths in the workplace. Therefore, we believe that the industry standard should move from meeting to exceeding the current safety standards that are set by the states and monitored by the Environmental Protection Agency. Therefore, Scott Energy will set aside 5 to 10% of annual funds specifically for the installment of new safety features. What do I mean by this? We actually have a very new product that is new to the market from last month, actually. It is called the Surveyor. The Surveyor will actually be installed within the trunks or the back of the trucks that we have on site at each of the wells 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now, these surveyors will be able to monitor and determine if there are methane levels or if there is a methane leak within any of these wells or pipelines. And we'll be able to fix that leak very quickly. Second, we'll have some channel blocks, and we will also have the ability to preheat the fracking liquid before actual use. In addition, we will have bi-monthly ground and aerial inspections. Excuse me. We believe that we need to have aerial inspections as well, because we need to know precisely what is going on at our well at all times, 2 times a month. In addition, we will have markers locating the specific location of each of our wells and pipelines. The industry currently needs to move from not notifying their residents specifically where these wells are. It's in your backyard. We believe that you have the right to know exactly where we are drilling and exactly where these pipelines are going to. And finally, everyone hears about this term in economics, diminishing marginal returns. We believe here at Scott Energy that the industry standard should be that every single company should go down and take every single possible avenue they can afford to take at that time to install the proper safety features for the betterment of your community.
Now, we've just covered some of the Scott's safety methods, but we realize that we have a moral obligation to your community as well. In the very unlikely event that something was to happen, you can be assured that all fracking processes will be stopped as quickly as possible. As soon as that has happened, we'll make sure that fresh water stations are available throughout your towns and communities and the local surrounding area. Along with that, we'll also have showers, so that way your family is taken care of. We would like ours taken care of if anything was to happen with this, and we want yours taken care of as well. Along with that, we would also have troughs available for crops and for farms, so that way their agricultural business can continue to grow as well. Now, again, in the very unlikely event that something was to happen, we would want you to know that you would hear about the accident from us within 24 hours of our knowledge. We do not want you reading about it in some newspaper tabloid or some scathing online article. We believe that it is the duty of the company to inform the community of what is going on and to give regular updates until that problem is fixed and properly patched.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, as I stated earlier, we will be moving to exceed the current EPA standards rather than just meeting them. Now, specifically under the Clean Water Act, states are required to identify impaired waters that are too polluted or otherwise degraded to meet the current water quality standards set by the Environmental Protection Agency. Currently, the EPA is under a 2-year-long investigation that will be ending in 2014. And at the end of that investigation, there is a very good likelihood that these standards will be raised. Therefore, Scott Energy will be able to meet those standards, and we will be able to continue to improve the safety in your community. The fracking process specifically, the hydraulic fracking process. Before we can actually begin fracking, we must actually drill the well. This drilling process will last between 2 and 3 weeks, and during that time, we will have Scott Energy employees on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to ensure your safety and the safety of our workers as well. These workers will also have the surveyors on site with them. In addition, we will be able to adapt to any of the different communities we are in, specifically for a farm community. Obviously, this is their way of income, this is their way of life. We will try to be as minimally intrusive as possible. However, these farmers actually enjoy having the excess of natural gas in the area because they have a cheaper option for the fertilizer there. The ammonia can actually be turned into a chemically compounded fertilizer and making it cheaper options that way. In residential communities, obviously people move there to have a safer alternative to raise their family with it. We will be able to keep them fully notified, fully educated on everything going on at the time within their neighborhood so they ensure the safety in their community is unharmed. In addition, when burning natural gas, this is a pro for the residential areas, when burning natural gas, it burns half the amount of carbon dioxide as when you burn coal. And finally, the technological advances within the community. We can actually minimize our environmental impact by drilling 1 vertical well and having 6 to 8 pipelines going horizontally, which is actually the equivalent of having 16 vertical wells. Therefore, we minimize our environmental impact on top of the ground.
Now that we have covered some of the technology that we'll be using with you, we do want to be very transparent with you about how we will define someone that has been affected. We would like to look at it as we will accept any and all formal complaints, and as we are accepting them, we'll be sure to process them through our proper legal channels. As they are being processed through the proper legal channels, we will hope that you will be compensated generously for any harm that has come to you, whether it be medically or living conditions-wise. Also, we will be accepting any documentation from plumbers, contractors, or family physicians, so that way your process can be sped up. We highly encourage everyone that if you feel any problem is happening, to please notify your plumbers.
Now that you know a little bit about legal standards here within the community, we would like to talk about if there was something that happened. You've been hearing a little bit about this dye test we're talking about. We will immediately notify all of you within the community before this dye test takes place. And we would like you to know if anything does happen, if your water does happen to change color, we encourage you to immediately call our emergency hotline, 1-800-SAF-FRAC or 1-800-SAFE-FRAC. In addition, we will have markers specifically located at the well sites, as I mentioned earlier. These markers will include our name, Scott Energy. They will also include the status and activation date of the wells. In addition to the substance being transported, the purpose of the well, and our Scott Energy emergency hotline, which we encourage you to call if something goes wrong.
So my coworkers, ladies and gentlemen, have discussed a little bit about this indicator dye, and you might be wondering, what is this dye? Our in-house name for it is Code Orange. It is a chemical compound that our research and development team created specifically for fracking. We are going to pump 20,000 gallons of Code Orange down the drilled hole to see if it ends up in your water supply. Now, some of you guys might be wondering, all right, well, Code Orange sounds something like Agent Orange. I can assure you that they are completely different compounds. We will initially have Code Orange before any fracking process begins. But as the fracking process continues, we will do this semi-annually to make sure that your community is safe. So is this chemical compound safe? Yes, it is exactly like water. It oxidizes minutes after it reaches the atmosphere and turns clear. So if you do see orange, immediately take a sample and call 1-800-SAFE-FRAC, and we will send a team of scientists to check to see if our proprietary formula has reached your water supply. If it has, we will immediately stop drilling and move from your community. So why do we care? Why is safety important to us? Because safety is our #1 concern. Unemployment rate right now is at a high of 9%, and in Center Valley, it's at 16%. We want to give you, the community, more jobs, and then in turn, you're helping us. We want to be welcomed into the community by providing better safety precautions.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, some knowledge before drilling. We encourage every resident in our fracking communities to call 811 before any drilling before an excavation project begins. 811 is a national one-call number established by the Federal Communications Commission. Essentially, how it works is you call this number before beginning a project. They will notify your local utility companies, and they will come free of charge onto your property to identify if you have any current live utility lines underneath your property. They will come onto your property, and they will use the American Public Water Association, their uniform color code, to identify if you have anything there. Our motto here at Scott Energy is to better be safe than sorry. Therefore, if you have any of these colors on your property with a flag or any spray paint, do not dig in that location.
So there's just 4 major things I'd just like to bring to you as we can wrap up our presentation. We understand that fracking is an ethical dilemma in terms of talking about things, and we'll understand the industry wrong and wrong. But we understand if things are done in the right manner, we can bring the best, we can bring the brightest people to do fracking in the safest way that we can do it for you. The second one is the number 100. In the next 100 years, fracking is supposed to last a lifetime. There's enough natural gas that we can last in the United States for that long. With that much natural gas, we're also going to be able to give time to help supplement the renewable energy field, give more energy and change things over. The third point is the year 2035. Experts say by the year 2035, we are able to generate a minimum $300 billion to the GDP. We have such a deficit right now in the United States. Creating all this extra revenue, again, is definite help to change the environment. And the final thing is this export symbol. The export symbol is there. With all this natural gas, we're going to be able to, again, not have our dependency over the Middle East and be able to take our natural gas and ship it over. With natural gas being so cheap, wouldn't you like to be able to manufacture in the United States? With losing oil and coal, we can start to manufacture at plants using natural gas as the energy resource. Wouldn't you like that toy your child opens to be made in the United States and not made someplace else, such as China or Taiwan?
So, ladies and gentlemen, as we conclude, I just want to bring the point of why we are here today. We are here not only to show how an industry can be if possible safety precautions are taken, but also to show you and prove to you that fracking is in fact ethical as long as the proper safety precautions are put into effect. Everyone in this industry has a moral obligation and a legal obligation to you as a community, and we believe at Scott Energy that the industry needs to revolutionize and become and bring more safety precautions. So, you heard a lot from us today, and we would like to hear from you. Are there any questions?
Yeah, I'll start off. A couple questions. First, is there any personal experience? Like, know somebody that needs one about experience? Anybody rely on any of that in their putting?
We did a plethora of research watching, not only watching the Gasland documentary that's very famous on the fracking industry. We read a plethora of different interviews with people, specifically from this one area because that's such a highlight and such a place where the ethical debate is going on.
Is something like doing orange actually?
We actually had the scientific department start making it. They weren't able to complete it by the time of the presentation, otherwise we would have brought it in, but yeah, it is able.
But I mean,
Currently, it's not something that exists. It's something that we're suggesting in terms of things. We're able to know if we're messing up instead of just what they're saying. If we can actually indicate and say that fracking fluid, there was again a likely event that something happened, it's able to again just kind of an idea that again talking to the science department to be able to bear witness that this was their idea in terms of the science aspect, not just the business aspect.
nothing in the exploration related like that. And the last part I have is we have planned for almost everything. Since you brought this up, I'm going to pose this question. The well lasts for about 20 years. Okay? everything's done and gone, are you done and gone?
This
Or,
this is actually something that is addressed in a number of different videos and documentaries that we did watch. One of the big sayings is, you know, these frackers come to town one day and it seems the next day they feel they're totally gone and the business in the town is shut down. We believe that it would be the duty of the company that's moving in, whether it be our big ship company, Scott Energy, or the giant that's in Pennsylvania, Chesapeake, to be the one to employ and train the people from the surrounding communities. So those 20 years that they are being done. To go along with that, we also believe that it would be the duty of the company that if they build the rigs, they build these massive construction sites, so take them down. It's the duty to take them down as well. One big thing that we talked about is with companies as big as Chesapeake, who has 30, 40 of these wells in Pennsylvania up north, they can take the monetary initiative to take down the well, and that also adds more economic benefit to the town because you have to employ people and train people to take down wells.
go ahead and see this. When you guys are putting together this presentation, you seem to be out ahead of the curve in terms of safety, what we're trying to lay the local people that are in the area coming in and doing the drilling. When you were sitting down and doing your research on it, do you feel that the local, state, federal regulations at this point in time are adequate? Would you like to see them in different directions? Do you feel whether it's maybe there's more federal guidelines nationally versus what the hodgepodge?
Right, I actually completely agree. During research, we found the current Environmental Protection Agency, the investigation they're currently going through, which, like I said, ends in 2014. I think they will have more of a national outlook at that afterwards. I think currently, since a lot of the states, they have similar regulations, but a lot of them are kind of different depending on the natural gas extraction industries. I think a lot of them are strong, but if we had a national, one unified regulation for all states to meet, and it was that strong, it makes the industry that much better and that much safer for the entire environment in general.
And as well to go off that point, in terms of you said that we are said we were the first, we almost want to be that company that the industry comes to. What are they doing? Let's compare to them and get all the other companies up to our standards in terms of where we're at as well.
In your research, I know probably 2 years ago now, there was a spill around the water. It rained through, I think, local spring. Did you come across that?
Yes.
It's in Canton, Troy, it's one, I'm not quite sure. What was the result of that? You know,
Actually, speaking off of that, probably if you go to Google or YouTube and type in hydraulic fracturing or fracking, I can say this with full confidence. The first video is going to come up is someone turning on their sink and lighting a match and putting the match in the sink and having it ignite the fire. That comes just from, this comes from a company not being able to act fast enough, which is why we've been, so what John was saying with the EPA standards, that they need to be higher. And companies right now are just hitting the mark. When we look at other industries, one that we kind of looked at a lot was BP with the horrible oil spill that they had. They immediately took to airways and we're sorry for this. We're going to put money into it. We're going to clean this. We're going to fix this. We feel that fracking companies need to take a similar stance. They need to stop the process and make sure that the community that they're in and the surrounding community are taken care of, because that's their moral obligation.
And to kind of add to that, when I actually contacted Siemens, our company, and we were looking into the safety precautions on how to clean up if there was a water spill. And you can actually contact them. I talked to Mike Bennett, and they will actually come in and clean the water for you. That was something that we actually were going to guarantee as a company if there was a spill, like a spill did happen.
We actually received a quote.
About $250,000.
Brian, you're the CEO.
Yes.
Talk about the stakeholders of your company. I would like to talk about profits and revenues. That's what your business is. You guys are very community-minded, that's great. What's the detriment to revenue and profits in operating the way you guys talk about operating? Why wasn't it addressed? If this is a town hall, why didn't you address that in the presentation?
I'm really glad you brought that up. That's something that as a group we
It's a hole, it's a big missing hole.
Absolutely. That's something as a group that we coupled with, that we grappled with a lot. It was one of those things that we came from it as an ethical view, and then we realized we needed numbers. We believe that John, who's the one that says it, a company should be able to put forth the safety features into their company that they can afford at the time. Expecting a company to fully run